Good morning, all the students, and welcome to the another session of structural analysis 2. And so far, we have been discussing the methods for energy principle and the analysis on the structure. So we have seen some interesting and exciting exercises where we have applied, we have known to how to apply the energy principle number 1 and 2 given by the Castigliano for the structural assessment and analysis. And in the last session, if we slide down to the last session, we started the discussion on truss system. Earlier, we had a simple truss with us, and we have seen in detail that how to solve such kind of problems. And in the last class, this was the problem that we have discussed. And so now today, with the same principle number 2 for the energy principle number 2, we are going to apply on the frame analysis. So we'll be taking the example, first of all, which is very simple and straightforward, with which we can learn how to analyze the plane frame with the energy principle number 2, right? So I advise all of you to, start with entering the details in the chat box for the attendant purpose. There are 22 participants, but no one has yet entered the detail in the chat box. So if there are 14 entries only, so those who are pending, please start entering the detail in the chat box so that at the last you don't need to rush for the attendance. All right, and here we go. We'll take first of all a simple frame. For example, just I'm showing you how to solve it, right? So when we say frame, it's two-dimensional frame. That means the connection, some of the connections will be the rigid connections. So of course here I am taking a frame like this, having a hinge support here. Again, the another support is hinge, right? However, this joint is going to be a rigid one. So I'm taking A, B, and C, for example. This is my simple plain rigid frame. Why I'm saying rigid? Because it is rigidly connected with two members together. So this only is the joint B, which is rigid in nature. That means it will be transferring all three basic forces or force types like reaction, axial forces, and moment, right? Now let me give you further information on the loading condition. And this is the point load of 20 kilonewton that we can write here. This is the distance of the location. It is, of course, since it is a first encounter, so we'll take it as simple as possible. So 1.5 meter is the span. So here with me, you all are required to keep working in your notes, and this height will be, let us say, 4 meters. Okay, so the 4-meter height here. Now the question is, you have to find the shear force and bending moment diagrams for this frame with the help of second principle of Castigliano, energy principle suggested by Castigliano. So according to you, you know the basic principle that whatever redundant that we identify, because first of all you have to identify the redundant of the system, and based on that we can develop our generalized moment equation. And once you have that generalized moment equation in your hand, you can have a partial derivative of that generalized equation with respect to that particular redundant. So here, if I draw the free body diagram of this structure as a first solution step, I come to know that I have how many unknowns in hand. So there will be some vertical unknowns and definitely there will be some horizontal unknowns. At the moment, I'm taking both horizontal unknowns as positive. Then I have some external load. So it is quite natural that we can have distribution of this total vertical force to the vertical reactions directly. So as such, with the help of the primary thumb rules and equations, we can definitely work out the unknown values in terms of vertical reactions. But at the same time, let us call this horizontal thrust, because since it is a hinge support, so there will be expected that we get this reactions H at point C also. So we can see HC, this is VC, this is VA, and of course this is HA, right friends? So now we know that how many unknowns we have. So since it will be customary to think about the redundant in terms of HC, so what we can do is we can consider the horizontal, let's say, reaction as a redundant, right? So we'll be converting this hinge support to the simple support, and in that way we can use this horizontal force or the reaction as the redundant. So largely we'll call it, let's say, R. Any symbol you can use just for a sake of convenience. Instead of identifying HA and HC and all, we will just identify this as R itself. So here, since now we have removed the hinge and replaced with roller, there is only one vertical force which is expected, that is VC, right? So now I have to apply this force as at this end, right? And then I will be calculating my reactions. So now you can start applying your we say reaction thumb rules, like sigma V equals to 0, sigma H equals to 0. So this part at least can be completed by you people. So just work upon it. Take a moment of all the forces about any of the supports and give me the answer for VA, VC, and HA and HC. So here, needless to add that if I go for sigma H, HA is positive plus HC is positive equals to 0. There is no external force. So definitely HA becomes equivalent to HC in a reverse direction. So here what we can write is R is actually acting in a revised direction. So I will be writing R like this, acting like this. Okay. So that these are the forces now on your system, and based on this you need to work out the reactions first. So I'll be waiting here, and we'll be waiting for your hand raise, and you just need to give me all these three values, out of which one we have already worked out here. Now you give me VA and VC. So VA and VC. So for sigma V equals to 0 will not work in this case. So you have to go for sigma M equals to 0 also. So once you are done, VA, VB. So take your time and go through this. Once you are done, you have to tell me V and VB. Okay, we have Virendra. Yes, Virendra.
Yes, sir. I got VA 10 kilonewton and VC 10 kilonewton.
That's how like possible because you forgot to add this R. So rework on that, right?
Yes,
And
sir. Sorry, sir.
then come back. Okay, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
So those who are comfortable to this calculation, please raise your hand once you are done with the reactions. Otherwise, the method is very simple. However, you just need to take moment of all the forces. In my view, you can take moment about point A, so that will give you first the value of VC, and then eventually you can get the value of VA. So 20 into 1.5 gives you clockwise negative moment. VC into 3 meters will give you anti-clockwise positive moment, and R will again generate clockwise negative moment with respect to A at the distance of 4 meters. So we may write down the first equation like this in case like 20 into 1.5 plus VC into 3 negative 4 times R equals to 0. So now we can definitely obtain VC equals to this is 20 into 15, right? So that is 30 plus 4R. Okay, this is still 3 times VC, so we can have VC equals to 10 plus 4 by 3 times R. All right, so similarly, VA will be naturally equal to it. Okay. However, this will be regarded as a negative, like what we can see is VA plus VB should be 20 in this case, according to sigma V here, right? So VA or VC, right? Not B. So now we can obtain VA equals to 20 minus VC, where we can see that 20 minus VC means 10 minus 4 third R. So it becomes 10 minus 4 third of R. That is the only difference that we have, right? So V and VC are calculated now, and you can comfortably keep it as it is. And then now time has come to start with the our regular practice, that we will consider total stored energy with respect to the total stored energy, not in terms of total energy, but we can write down the total energy in terms of del U upon del R will be 0, right? So we want to implement this now in terms of equation. So what I'll be doing is not since we don't need to change the slide as such, I will be writing this VA and VC here somewhere so that I can create a table over here for your better understanding. Okay, so I'm just writing it first. Here I will write so that VA becomes 10 minus 4 upon 3 R, right? And VC becomes 10 plus 4 upon 3 times R. So now since you have understood how we have reached to these reactions, we don't need it. So I'll be removing it so that we can create some space over here itself on the same page for a better and quick relationship of the equations and calculations, right? And the given problem, right? Later on, we are going to go into the detail of the forces also, because ultimately you need to work upon the SFDM diagram of the frame itself, right? So now, since you can see that we have a variety of the points available on the structure, I will add one more point here. However, let me write down first of all, this is point A, this is point B, this is point C, and this is B. Now, let me show you how we can use second principle and how we can generate the equation. So first we'll start with first segment. We have a pattern of segments, like how many segments we can expect. Segment CB, right? Segment BD, and there is a choice to you. Like now, if you want to shift your segment in the light of the having a very small equation for the generalized purpose of the equation, generalized moment equation, you can change over between the origins. Like here you have already selected origin B for BD as a member. Here I'm free to select AD, that means A as a origin and AD as a member, because we believe that the entire structure follows the equilibrium, and at any side, whether left or right, whatever you select will give you the equally resolvable results. So now in this case, since we have already selected two members, the equation eventually will get bigger and bigger, right? So to avoid big equations and solutions, it is always advisable to you that you select smallest equations as possible, which should again and otherwise consisting the constant on which we are working and we require value of the same. So now my friends will go with the another segment, that is AD, and we'll note down the origin also. Like for CB member, we have origin at C. For BD, we have origin at B, but for AD, we have origin at A. This will significantly reduce your unnecessary efforts in managing the long equations of the generalized moment equation. All right, then now we'll write down the length. Till this, I'm not going into the detail because you know all in and out about this. 0 to 4 meter, this we have practiced already. This is 0 to 1.5, and this is again 0 to 1.5. Right. So now let's go for generalized moment equation, where I need your help. Who will tell me what will be the equation for? Look at to this figure number 2. This is figure number 2, and tell me how should I write the equation of moment for CB portion, being C is the origin. Raise your hand, I will unmute yourself. You can raise your hand, I will unmute yourself. Still any 3 or 4 students are pending to write down their details, enrollment numbers, names in the chat box. Please write down before you forget, so that we can avoid that last minute rush. 29, I mean 28 I can see, and all, yes, all have registered. Okay, that's good, that's nice, because one is myself. So we have a 29 total participants at this meeting. Okay, friends, so who will tell me? Come on, raise your hands fast so that we can go ahead and we can complete the numerical and we can take one more of that. Don't make delay like this. Who will tell me now? Should I take a name? Because many people don't speak simply during the class, so let me go to him. Let me check who don't speak at all, largely. Okay. Okay, Ravi, are you there? Ravi Kanjia. I have unmuted you. Ravi, you can respond to me. On the other hand, we have received one hand also. So Let me see who has raised the hand. Somebody raised the hand, but I could not see it. Please raise your hand again so that I can unmute yourself. Whoever has raised earlier. And don't be shy, don't be hesitated in answering the questions. So there is no point of doing like this. To what level you will be not responding to the questions? Somebody at some time, everybody has to answer to the questions, at least at any point of time. So it's a better now. It's time now itself, right? So I asked everyone to respond to this very simple equation. Let me show you. Let us take a section somewhere here on this beam, somewhere here, and origin is C. So we'll start from here. So this is your nothing but X. So now I'm standing here. So when I'm here, this is a force, right? And that force is creating clockwise moment on this member entirely. There is no other possibility for this member to be considered. So for the other forces, so I'll be simply taking black ink again, and I'll be writing this equation as minus Rx, right? That is the equation, right? Only you have to consider the redundant. Do not get misunderstood or mix up with the concept that HA and HC has to be considered. No, for you now all the horizontal forces are only R, right? Because we have established this relationship also. So I hope you are clear on this, that why we are writing R instead of HC or HA. Both are same. The only thing is their significant sign is different, and at the same time, we just want to have common R value because that's the only horizontal force in this system. So there is nothing wrong to assume common symbol for both these reactions. Okay. Otherwise, we could have selected particular horizontal reaction like HC or HA otherwise, right? If this would have not been the case where only one horizontal force which is available, then that is 2 in terms of horizontal thrust, right? So that's why we have selected it. Now let's go ahead and let's go for BD as a segment. Okay, now let me take another color here, right, and take a section. B is the origin, we can see here. So B is the origin, and I will progress like this. Now I'm standing here. This is the distance. So how many forces can I consider for taking my moment at distance X in this system on the right hand side? So who will give me the answer now? Who will become a volunteer? Raise your hand. You just need to tell me. Let me redraw this. This much is the portion we are considering right now. This is the first force. I want to take moment of this force about this point. Will be like this. Okay. And since I have another force here, this is R, this is VC. And for R, I'll be taking moment on this direction. Okay, so these are the two things that we need to write as a general equation. First, VC, this quantity will be equivalent to VC into X, because now X is moving like this. Okay, so VC into X, that is my first term, and that is 2 is negative. Sorry, positive, because it is moving anti-clockwise, and R will be negative. Yes, so this is positive. It will be R will be negative because it is moving clockwise. So that is 4R. So we'll not do anything with this right now, but later on we will come back to it. So now third equation, that we have to start from point A. So always remember, you have to go in a reverse direction. So this is the part. This is my X distance direction. Here it is the support. Here it is the X value. Like you have how many forces? You have only one force, that is VA. So you can write down negative VA into X. So you can see that how easy it is, to write it in the equation. Otherwise, we could have considered all these three forces, like 20 kilonewton would have come here, then R would have been there, and VC would have been there. Like if you continue to go in this direction, like this, like that, and finally you reach here, right? So instead of doing it, it is always customary to reduce the length of the equation for effective calculation. Now, before we go ahead for this, let us simplify these terms, right? So that we get a better understanding on the expansion also and replacement of the values. So I'll be shifting this here, and let me remove this also, because as such we don't need it. I just use this for explanation purpose only. So instead of writing something here next to this, that is del mx upon del r, I understand, but for that you need to expand it first. So I'll be expanding it as such. First term is not required to be expanded. VC is nothing but 10 plus 4 upon 3 into x minus 4r. Here r will be there. Okay, so that is what is our VC. You can see here VC is written here. So now 10x plus 4 by 3r, x minus 4r. Right. So when you take up the dmx upon dr, you can see that there are two terms involved. Like one is 4 by 3 rx and second is minus 4r. Right. So here you will be going through a kind of result like 4 by 3 x minus 4. That is what is your dmx upon dr, right? Because this term 10x doesn't consist any of the r value. So here this will be simply the x, because we have taken partial derivative with respect to r, so minus x is there. And here it is 4 by 3 into x minus 4. And here again we know that VA will be there, and we know the value of VA is 10 minus 4 by 3r. So you need to multiply it with x, so 10x minus 4 by 3 rx, where r will be partially derivated. So here we can write minus 4 by 3x. I hope we are clear at how we have written all these stages. And now I'm leaving it up to you, that you are good enough to add them together, and then you place them in a sequence and form of the equation. That's what earlier you used to do, is as del u upon del r equals to 0. That means, how do we write it? 1 upon ei segment wise, 0 to 4, let us say, first segment, that is m into del mx upon del r into dx. So that is minus rx into minus x dx plus one more, let us say ei, 0 to 1.5. So this many equations are required. VC into x minus 4r into 4 by 3 x minus 4 dx, and finally plus 1 upon ei, 0 to 1.5, that is minus bax minus 4 by 3 x dx. So I need somebody from you who can give me now, when you expand all this, when you multiply all this, you will be getting your answers effectively. Now here you just need to replace VC and VA. Do not forget to replace it with your original values of 10 to the form of 10 minus 4 by 3r, that is VA. Here you can see, let me change the color to highlight it so that you can get the right message here. Here you have to write VA value, which is worked out here, here itself. And similarly, VC value, which you have over here, written over here, that you have to take from this source. And then simplify everything and bring it back to the simplest form possible. So now I'm leaving up to you, because now you are a grown-up kid in terms of integration and multiplication and replacement and use of the other values into the one equation and all this. So I'm leaving it up to you, and now you need to respond to me in terms of R value directly. Okay. So after you expand this, you have to integrate it. That's it. So once you integrate it, you replace X with respective values like 4 meter, 1.5 meter, and again 1.5 meter. So that will give you the complete value of the R. So I'm eagerly waiting for an answer. I'll give you 2, 3, 4 minutes even. But I wish that now you do everything. Like, see, if I keep giving you the each and every details, it will be not worth of exploring at your capacity, whether you have understood or not properly, and not be in a position to ascertain. So I'm resting now for a while, like 1 or 2 or 3 minutes even. So after exactly 3 minutes, I'll be coming back to you, and you just need to tell me what is the value of R you have worked out, and we'll confirm with minimum 2 or 3 students. So randomly I will be asking, right? Okay, so I'm still waiting. Still, it's 1 minute left with you. You can suggest me the answer, and it is very much expected also. I have a lot of expectations from your division regarding your preparedness, regarding your reflections that you show during the classrooms. So now it's a game of simply using the values in the equation and get it through with the value of R. So replace everything in terms of R, integrate it with the limits, and finish it. So tell me the value of R. Once you have the R value, it will be very straightforward for us to draw the rest of the diagrams also. And after this, we'll take one example of the complete frame. So that will enhance your full capacity also, and that will give you another level of the confidence. So I'm ready with your, I'm ready to listen to you. So you can raise your hand, or should I start asking randomly? Right, like Gaurav, we have Gaurav with us. I can see I have unmuted you. Gaurav, can you respond that? Are you still working, calculating? Are you there? I think you are there, but somehow we are not unmuting yourself. Then let me go through again. See, it would be difficult for me if you don't answer to my question, right? So at least you should respond to my question, whether you are done or not, that is separate thing. But when your name I can spot in my chat box or in my participation window, and when I say that you have to speak, it is necessary for you to at least unmute yourself and say yes. Otherwise, it will be difficult for me to carry on like this. So which I don't like that condition to occur. So one more chance to Gaurav to unmute himself, or raise your hand. I can unmute yourself, or at least you can discuss with us that what you are calculating. Has anyone calculated this? If you have calculated this, so Gaurav, in that event, I will not be able to give you the attendance for today's class since you are not responding to me. Okay. So take a note of this. So now let me go to someone else. Someone else from the list. Tilak. We have Tilak with us. You can also unmute yourself. I have given you the rights to unmute yourself. And you can unmute now again yourself. I hope all of you are getting my voice clearly so that there is no confusion about it. I'm not asking you the answer directly, so don't worry, don't be afraid of anything. Just don't shy. Just say, just unmute yourself and you can converse with me at least. You can talk to me at least. So again, Tilak, if you are there, then definitely you should respond to this question. Okay, so very well. Again, like this, I have now two students to whom I will not be awarding today's attendance of this class, roll number 4 and 15, which is not a good event actually. But again, I just need to do it since you are irresponsive to my question. So Ankit, are you there, Ankit? You can unmute yourself if you are listening to me. So even Ankit is not answering. Is there any problem over there? No, I don't see any problem. Right. And on the other hand, I have some questions available to me in my chat box. Do we ignore, what is it? Do we ignore the effect of force VC when in segment MX BC? BC and VC and all, right? To which question you are asking, like to which problem you are asking? Eric, I think Eric is there. It is better that you tell me, I'll unmute yourself, you raise your hand. See, instead of writing everything, you should directly raise your hand if I'm in a good condition to speak with you. If I'm not explaining anything, I will allow you to unmute yourself. So where is Eric? You can ask your question here, Eric. Should not be a problem. So I think we should stop the session here because people are not responding in a desired way, and which I simply don't want to have a pattern in this class. I don't know what is the reason, but somehow People have stopped responding it, so I will also stop here, right? So unless you give me the R value from the audience, I will not be moving on with any of the new numerical. So here, when you come at this, Eric, I think your question is regarding AD segment. See, please understand what we have done here is, let me elaborately explain you, since nobody is answering, we have a time for explanation. This was the condition. This is our point A, B, C, and D. So what we did, we first of all selected first segment as C to B, right? So whatever forces are available for taking a moment within this member, which was of course only the R. So what we did is we took the moment in terms of Rx for segment CB. So its story is done. Now, when we started from B to C, our segment becomes now B to D, sorry, and B is the origin. So now we have to consider VC as the force, right? VC as the force. Let me change the color also so that you get clearly. VC as a force for D to B segment. And here we are standing somewhere. This is the X distance. So VC into X was an obvious choice for moment. VC into X. Okay. That is the first term. And second, we have R, still R with us. So that will be creating clockwise moment. So I will write down negative 4 times R. Okay. So that becomes my equation for segment BB. Now what we did, we changed the sequence from right to left instead of left to right. So we have come here and we selected this segment such that the origin becomes A, not the D. Right? So now our origin is A, whatever forces are available here, I need to consider them. So R is out of question, I cannot take moment of that, but VA is definitely there. So what I can do simply is I can take moment of VA here into X, somewhere I have changed my origin here. So my equation for that segment becomes as simple as that. Otherwise, if you want to continue in this sequence, nobody will say no, or you will not be incorrect. But the point is, when you are doing it, your equation become a little large. Like, let me demonstrate it for your overall interest. So let me remove this first. I hope, Eric, you are getting it, and this is for your general awareness also. So everybody can learn this. Let me take it further. Like if I take vertical reaction, horizontal R reaction, this is VC, this is VA, needless to write because we are not going to consider it. This is R again. Here is the 20 kilonewton again. So now according to our sequence CBDA. Okay, so we'll continue to write equation when our section is in this segment, that is D to A. Now I am taking D as origin. Please understand, everyone, you can focus. So VC is there. I can take moment of VC force at this distance, which requires equation like this. So it will be VC into 1.5 plus X. Okay, so that is, this is X and this is 1.5. So you can very well see that you can take moment here. Okay. Now, another force, that is R. So it doesn't matter. You just need to go for it. So minus 4 times R, you can take a moment. And now when you have entered here, you can consider 20 also as a force, and it is again negative. So 20x equals to your generalized equation mx. So this would be your equation. If you continue from side C, C to B, B to D, D to A. right? If you continue like sequence, that's fine. But this is a little long equation, because I would say that don't, okay, somebody has raised hand. Yang Zong has raised hand. Yes, Yang Zong.
Sir, I'm getting R 2.01 kilonewton.
R is 2.01 kilonewton. Okay, let me cross check it with somebody else also. That's good that you have worked out after all. So I appreciate that much. And let me keep it in a pocket for a while. 2.1, right? Okay. Somebody else like Birendra. Okay, tell me, Birendra.
Yes, sir. I got 1.84 kilonewton.
1.84.
Yes, sir.
This was,
Sir,
yes.
I have a doubt in segment AD. There is a partial derivative of mx by dr will be positive 4 by 3x.
Okay. So of course, this is negative and negative. It will be positive. What's
Yes,
wrong?
sir.
So should
But
not.
you have written negative
Where?
in AD part.
In any part, this is negative. You can see this.
No, sir. In tables.
Here.
No partial derivative.
Yeah.
Del mx by del r, sir. Yeah, there.
Okay, here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So what is VA? VA is negative, right?
Yes, sir.
So that negative sign will definitely be there.
But in mx is also there is a negative minus Vax. So negative will be positive.
Of course, so it will be, this is negative, this is also negative, will become positive. What's wrong with that? Here it is VA. So when I replace VA, 10
minus 10x.
4 3 R, right, into X. So that will be 10x. When I expand it, it becomes 4 3 times R into X. So you just need to consider only R containing del M, del R. So your answer will be minus 4 3x only. Right?
But there is already minus Vax.
Minus
Vax.
VAX.
Yes, sir.
Here. So what is a VA value? Tell me.
Plus 10
Oh,
minus
I got
4
your
by
point.
3.
I got your point. You
Yes.
you are confused between the this thing, this negative and
Yes.
this again negative when you expand it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So actually it's not like that. You just need to see, you just need to consider 10 minus 4 by 3 R into X only, because you are not multiplying anything. Understand this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? So that directly becomes negative in that terms. So it remains negative itself. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Right. All right. So I think now what is the general answer that we can put it over here? Anyone else would like to comment on this? Anyone from you? You can raise your hand. I'm still waiting. I was actually explaining here. Right. So, Eric, I think you have got your point. Like, if you continue from C, D, sorry, B, D, and A, if you continue like this, right, it will be a kind of tedious or longer equation to manage. So that's why we changed it in terms of A to D. and where you just need to take VA into X as a distance, that becomes your MX general form for this moment. So that becomes negative. So VA into X, so which you need to expand. So VA is already with us as 10 minus 4 by 3 R, right? Okay, I got your point, Birendra, what you were discussing. So when this is negative and that is also a kind of negative value, that's where you were a little bit confused, right? So anyways, you can take it further appropriately, like when you expand it, it becomes like this, right? Plus, that is what you are suggesting. So, okay, fine, you can go with this, and I advise everyone to go with that as plus, right? This is 4 3x, and here again you can work upon like that. So now you tell me the value of R, Birendra, come back. Yes. Yes, Birendra. This is what you were
Yes,
asking.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, okay. So tell me the answer now.
So I got 1.84 kilonewton.
1.84. Still, it's not meeting to the right answer, because the right answer is 1.2 actually. So yes, someone else has raised the hand again. Prashant. Yes, Prashant.
Yes, sir. R is 1.20.
Yes, that's what I'm asking, that you work upon again, Birendra, and with this correction, everyone, please make a correction over here. And based on that, when you work upon, it will give you final value of R equals to 1.2 kilonewton, right? So now I hope Eric and Birendra both are clear on their queries. So I have satisfied them to an expectations. And now, since we have worked out all the values, it is a right time to quickly draw the diagrams. We have only few minutes left with us. So what we'll be doing is, let's separate them together so that it will guide you how to draw the diagrams. This is reaction. Now, first of all, we'll get VA and VC. Please tell me what is the value of VA and VC. 10 into 4 by 3 times 1.2, and 10 plus 4 by 3, 1.2. Somebody should quickly respond to this. Yeah, Prashant.
Yes, sir.
Tell me the final answer over here of V and VC, because H we know that is 1.2 kilonewton.
Sir, 8.4.
8.4 and
11.6 kilometer.
11.6 kilonewton. Believing in you that you are right, so I'll be going ahead and let's write down all this value. Thank you, Prashant. And here what we can write down is 11.6. This is going to be your 1.2. So equal and opposite force will be applied as a rule that you have learned earlier, that these are the internal forces, and to the addition of this, we'll be having some moment as well at this moment, right? So for that, we have VA value. VA is 8.4, right? Here you have a point load of 20 kilonewton. You have one reaction here, that is 1.2, right? So both these reactions will be applied in a opposite manner so that they manage their that internal of equilibrium. And since we have got reactions here, now you again have some vertical reaction on this point. So this is 11.6. This is again 11.6 applied in a reverse direction. We started with this. This is also 1.2. This is 20. This is 1.2, and this is 8.4. So friends, based on that, can we work out MB quickly? Because all these things will be required for us to develop the diagrams on the later stage. So if I take moment of the forces, various forces, I'll be getting moment just for a sake of answer I'm giving you. That is 4.8 kilonewton into meter. Please check it at your end. I'm just giving it you. And now based on this internal forces available, we can draw the shear force bending moment diagrams, including the axial diagram. So first, let me show you the SF diagram, SFD. I'm just showing you. You can later on, you can practice it and develop it in your notes, right? I'm just giving you as an answer, which you can write down right now, and later on, we can you can compare it with your final answers depending upon the sign conventions that we have adopted, right? So now we have a complete answer like this, because there will be a constant force of 1.2. So this is, you can say 1.2. This will be on the other side, has a value of 11.6 vertical, and since it is on this side, it will go below that. Now some students may get reverse of this because negative and positive signages. So that depends upon your own sign conventions that you have to adopt, right? Sorry, this will be negative. So should not be a problem, but at least you should get the right shape of the answers. So this is your SFD. Second, let me give you the BMD also. I'm doing it little fast, so you just need to write down right now for a sake of comparison. Now you can see that we have one span moment also, I mean span load. So definitely there will be a simply supported type of moment that you have to work out in the mid span, which you can definitely work out like this, WL by 4 simply, right? So this answer is 15, right? So WL by 4 is 15 because you multiply 20 with 3 by 4 gives you 15. So in center, since it is sagging, I'll be showing it above the line. So that is my first bending moment. And now we'll go with the end moment also. So we have MB as 4.8, right? So I'll be drawing that 4.8 here, since this is a hinge, right? So we cannot show any end moment over here. There is no moment reaction. So it will progress like this. Let me show you like this. It will progress like this. This is the sequence. Similarly, on the same side, we can see that here also we have hinge support. So that is how we can see that it is a hinge support. So like this, we can show that this is 4.8 value. This is span moment. This is 15 kilonewton moment value, 4.8. If you wish, you can go for the axial load diagram also. Like here you can see that this member is subjected to axial force of 1.2 kilonewton, and this member is subjected to axial force of 11.4. So there is a possibility of third type of the diagram, which otherwise usually not present in the beam analysis, but here in a frame analysis, you can definitely create it, which is otherwise very simple, right? You just need to show that this is in compression. So both will be shown on the same side. There will be a shortening effect of this member. So 11.6 on the inner side. Negative we have shown on the inner side of the frame. So this is negative. You can write down 11.6 here. And then you have shortening effect of 1.2 on the both sides. Here you can see this one and this one. So that you can show here with a very small kind of scale. So this is 1.2 only, this is 11.6. So like friends, we can develop all the diagrams and you can complete your answer. Please make a correction in your all the calculation. I will, don't worry, I will not remove anything out of it. However, it's very difficult at this moment to identify the sequence, but you know the right answer. And based on that, we have made some corrections here, and based on that we have developed our final diagrams. This is shear force diagram, this is bending moment diagram, and this is axial load diagram. So now I think we are more than confident about how to develop, how to work with frame. That was the intention, and I'm sure that you have worked out well. And in the next class, actually, I wanted to cover another numerical also. But anyways, in the next class, we'll go with the another frame, which will be like a complete frame. Right? It will be something like this. And with this kind of frame, we'll also go through one more interesting method of analysis, which is generally a part of the virtual method of analysis, is called unit load method. So with that we'll go along with that. So I'm stopping here today, since I'm 5 minutes more I have taken from your schedule. So I'm stopping here today, and we'll meet in the next class. Till then, take care. One thing I would like to repeat, that once I ask a question to a specific student, it is their duty to respond it, or at least put a message that something is wrong with that. But otherwise, you have to unmute yourself and you have to at least say, yes, I'm present, so that it gives you a kind of confidence that you are well tuned with the ongoing session. So in that line, I'll be not be allowing the attendance to the 2 students that already I have specified, right? So otherwise, you will be learning similar numericals by making a practice of it, and just take care of yourself. We'll be meeting in the next class. So thank you all for joining this session.